Have you ever felt that real pull, that urge for something right now, but then almost immediately another voice pipes up, more cautious maybe?
Oh, absolutely, that internal dialogue.
Yeah, or you find yourself drawn to certain stories
Hmm.
or characters, and they just feel familiar, deeply familiar somehow.
Like you've known them forever.
Exactly. Well, today we're taking a journey, a real dive into let's say, the hidden architecture of our minds.
Hmm.
We're getting into the roots of our desires, our fears, even our dreams. And we've got two giants guiding us, Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung.
Two titans of psychology, for sure.
And this isn't just theory, right? We want this to feel like an inward journey for you, something that might actually shift how you see yourself.
Indeed. We're aiming to explore the depths, beyond just surface thoughts. It's about the why behind the what.
Okay, so let's start unpacking this with Sigmund Freud, often called the father of psychoanalysis.
Can't really talk about the unconscious without starting there.
Right. His core belief was that so much of what we do, what we feel, it bubbles up from this unconscious part of us. He didn't see our minds as, like, neat and tidy.
No, definitely not. More like a dynamic, sometimes chaotic internal landscape.
So how did Freud actually map this hidden world? What was his model?
Well, what's really key is that he gave it structure. He saw the psyche divided into three parts, often pulling in different directions. First, there's the id.
The I. Okay.
Think of it as pure instinct, primal desires, that I want it now part. Not just basic needs, but, that craving for instant gratification, maybe ignoring consequences.
Right, the impulse buyer in all of us.
Kind of, yeah, the raw, demanding energy. Then, trying to manage that, you've got the ego.
The ego, that sounds more familiar.
That's your rational self, the part dealing with reality. It tries to figure out, okay, how can we get what the id wants, but like realistically, and in a way that works in the real world. It's the mediator.
The negotiator.
Exactly. And then, looming over it all is the superego.
Superego. Sounds super.
Well, it's your moral compass. It's all the rules, the shoulds and shouldn'ts you've internalized from parents, society, culture.
Ah, the conscience. The guilt tripper sometimes.
It can be, yeah. It holds the ideals, tells you what's right and wrong, so you've got this constant push and pull.
Okay, so Idris screams, gimme. Superego says, absolutely not. And the poor ego is stuck in the middle trying to broker peace.
That's a great way to put it. It's trying to find a compromise. And yeah, it sounds exhausting because it often is.
Does that internal battle, that
Mhm.
conflict,
Mhm.
does it actually spill out? Does it have real-world consequences beyond just feeling torn?
Oh, definitely. Freud argued that this is precisely where things like anxiety and neuroses come from, when these conflicts aren't resolved or when desires get pushed down, really repressed.
Repressed, like hidden away.
Exactly. Pushed deep into the unconscious because they're too painful or unacceptable to face, but they don't just disappear.
They fester.
You could say that. Freud thought this repressed stuff, maybe a childhood trauma, a forbidden desire, could pop up later. Manifest as, say, an irrational fear, chronic anxiety, even physical symptoms the person can't explain.
Wow. So the unconscious is constantly sort of whispering or maybe shouting from beneath the surface.
It's always active, always influencing the present, even if you're not aware of the source.
That makes sense of things like Freudian slips, right?
Yeah.
And those accidental words that reveal something else.
Exactly. Slips of the tongue, dreams, even jokes or moments of irrational behavior. Freud saw these as windows, clues leaking out from the unconscious.
Okay, so if the unconscious is trying to communicate, how can we, listen better? How can
Yeah.
we apply Freud's ideas to understand ourselves?
Well, his work gives us some really practical tools for self-exploration. One classic is keeping a dream journal.
Writing down dreams.
Yeah, immediately when you wake up, before the conscious mind filters it all out. Freud called dreams the royal road to the unconscious, full of symbols about our hidden desires and conflicts.
Okay, dream journal. What else?
Free association, just letting your thoughts flow. Writing or speaking whatever comes to mind without censoring, no matter how weird or random it seems.
Letting the guard down.
Precisely, to bypass the ego's filters and see what connections emerge. And finally, just introspective questioning, really asking why.
Why do I always react that way?
Exactly. When you see those recurring emotional patterns, that disproportionate anger or that weird anxiety in specific situations, dig deeper. Look for the triggers, the potential unresolved stuff driving it. Become a detective of your own mind.
These are great starting points, mapping that inner territory.
Yeah.
But what if there's more? Something deeper than just my personal hidden stuff.
Now you're heading towards Carl Jung.
Freud's student, then rival.
Indeed. Jung agreed about the unconscious, its power, But he saw it as bigger, broader, not just a storage bin for personal repressed material.
He thought there was something else down there.
Something vast. He introduced this radical idea, the collective unconscious.
Collective, as in shared.
Exactly. A layer of the psyche we all inherit. It's not based on our personal experiences, but it's common to all humans. Think of it like a shared ancestral memory bank.
Wow. Okay. What's in this collective bank?
Universal patterns, images, instincts, what Jung called archetypes.
Archetypes, I've heard that term. Like
Yeah.
the hero.
The hero is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Or the shadow, the wise old man, the great mother. These aren't specific memories, but universal blueprints for experience. They show up across cultures, in myths, fairy tales, religions, our dreams.
So they're like fundamental characters or themes in the human story. You mentioned the shadow. That sounds dark.
It represents the parts of ourselves we don't want to see. The disowned aspects, things we think are negative, unacceptable, so we push them away, deny them.
Our dark side.
It can be, but it's not just evil. It's also undeveloped potential, things we haven't owned. And Jung believed real growth, finding inner peace, comes from integrating these archetypes, especially the shadow.
Integrating, not getting rid of it.
No, acknowledging it, understanding it, bringing it into the light. If you ignore or suppress the shadow, it just gains power. It might get projected onto others, seeing faults in them that are really your own, or it leads to self-sabotage.
That makes sense. So bringing these parts together.
That's the journey Jung called individuation, becoming whole, integrating the conscious and unconscious, the light and the dark, becoming uniquely yourself.
Individuation. That sounds like a lifelong process.
It absolutely is, a quest for wholeness.
So how can we start working with Jung's ideas? How do we even spot these archetypes or begin to face the shadow? It feels big.
It is big, but there are pathways. One is reflecting on your recurring emotional patterns, especially those really strong reactions you have to other people.
Like when someone really gets under your skin.
Exactly. Or even intense admiration. Ask yourself, is this my shadow talking? Am I reacting to something in them that's actually an unacknowledged part of me? It's about seeing how your inner world colors your outer perception.
Okay. Paying attention to strong reactions.
Yeah.
What else?
Jung developed a technique called active imagination. It's a kind of meditative practice. You allow images or figures from your unconscious to arise, and then you consciously engage with them, dialogue with them.
Talk to your inner archetypes.
In a way, yes, it can yield some surprising insights. And finally, actively look for symbols. In your dreams, definitely, but also in art, myths, even movies and books you're drawn to.
How do these symbols help?
These universal stories and images often mirror our own inner journey. They can illuminate parts of your own individuation process, showing you patterns or aspects of yourself you hadn't recognized.
It's clear they took such different paths, Freud and Jung, even though they started exploring the same territory, the unconscious.
Absolutely. Freud, as we said, really zeroed in on the personal past. Early experiences, sexual drives, the ego's defenses, trying to understand how past wounds created present problems.
Right, excavating personal history.
Jung, while respecting that, really expanded outwards and upwards. Towards growth, meaning those universal patterns, the potential for transformation. It wasn't just about fixing pathology, it was about striving for wholeness.
And their views on religion really highlight that difference, don't they?
Massively. Freud basically saw religion as an illusion, a kind of mass wish fulfillment born from feeling helpless, a need for a cosmic father figure.
A comforting story.
Yes. Jung, completely differently, saw religion and mythology as vital expressions of the collective unconscious, full of symbolic truth. He thought those symbols and narratives were crucial for psychological health, for connecting us to something bigger, for individuation. Not necessarily literal truth, but psychological truth.
Wow. So Freud saw it as illusion, Jung saw it as symbolic necessity. That's a huge gap.
It really is. There's that great analogy often used.
Which one?
Freud explored the basement of the mind, and Jung explored the stars of the soul.
Oh, I like that. Freud digging into the personal, hidden, maybe repressed stuff.
Shadows in the basement, yeah. The personal history, the drive.
And Jung looking up towards the universal patterns, the potential, the spiritual dimension.
Exactly, the archetypes, the quest for meaning, the connection to the collective. But here's the thing. Despite their differences, maybe because of them, together they offer this incredibly rich, full picture.
A complete lens.
I think so. From our most basic primal instincts and personal wounds, all the way to our highest spiritual aspirations and shared human patterns. It covers the whole spectrum.
That's a really helpful way to see it. Not either, but both hand. Okay, so let's bring this together. What does all this mean for you listening right now? What are the absolute key takeaways from this deep dive into Freud and Jung?
Well, first and foremost, I think, is realizing you are not just your conscious thoughts. The unconscious is real, and it influences you profoundly, way more than you probably realize.
Okay, accept the hidden depths. What's next?
Embrace your inner conflicts. Don't just suppress them. Freud showed us pushing things down doesn't work long term. Acknowledging the tension is the first step to actually working through it.
Right. And from Jung, that powerful idea, real growth starts when you face your shadow. Integrate it.
Yes. It's not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming whole. Owning all the parts, even the ones you don't like. They have energy. They have lessons.
Bringing them into consciousness so they don't run the show from behind the scenes.
Exactly. And that leads to the big picture. True transformation comes from self-awareness, understanding symbols, and accepting your whole psyche. It's an ongoing journey, bringing more and more into the light.
Living more consciously, more intentionally. Okay, these are huge insights. But how do we start? What are some practical things listeners can do, like today?
Okay, actionable steps. First, journaling. Seriously. Daily, if possible. Note down emotional triggers, recurring thoughts, and definitely your dreams. Right when you wake up. It's a direct line.
Dream journal. Got it.
Then try some shadow work prompts. A good one is, what traits in other people really annoy me or fascinate me? Then ask honestly, is there a version of that trait in me that I'm ignoring?
Ooh, that could be uncomfortable.
It can be, but incredibly revealing about projection. Also, consciously engage with symbolism. Read myths, watch symbolic films, look at art. Start noticing the archetypes.
The hero, the shadow.
Yeah, see how they play out in stories and reflect on how they might be playing out in your own life. It connects your personal story to something bigger. And finally, simple but powerful. Practice mindfulness.
Just observing your thoughts.
Observing your thoughts, your feelings, your impulses without judgment. Becoming the observer creates space. It helps you see these inner forces at play without being totally swept away by them. It's foundational.
Those are really concrete things anyone can try. Journaling, shadow prompts, symbols, mindfulness. It feels like the real point isn't becoming someone totally different.
Not all.
It's about becoming more fully yourself. Bringing all those pieces, the id, ego, superego, the archetypes, the shadow, into a kind of working relationship. Integrating it all.
It's about wholeness. And like Jung said in that incredibly potent quote,
Which one is that?
until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate.
Wow, that really lands. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate.
It really puts the choice back in your hands, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Are you living by fate, by unseen forces, or are you stepping into conscious awareness?
That's the challenge and the invitation. So maybe take a moment after this, just pause,
Interesting.
reflect. Which of these ideas resonates? Which tool feels like a possible first step for you? Because this journey of self-discovery, it really never ends, but starting it or continuing it, well, that holds the potential to change everything.